Memphis Wrestling with Randy Hill and special guests.
Hello again, everybody. It is the owner, founder, president of Power Pro Wrestling, the founder and creator of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. It's good old RH. It is Randy Hills, and Randy West is in the house. Set the hook with Pat Rose. We'll talk about him in a little bit. PJ from over the pond in Thailand. Brooke Tollison's in the house. Greg White's in the house. My big buddy Randy Dandy, Randy West is here in the house, and we have some updated news before we bring in Michael St. John. I believe last week right here on Talking Memphis Wrestling, and after the first takes, we will go back in time and we will show what I think is the most emotional moment that a guest or even a co-host has ever said on this program. I'm real excited about that. He is from somewhere, someplace. He is a legendary broadcaster. It's already been publicly announced, but we will officially announce it in a little bit. He is Joshua's. Hey, Adam, there's some picture. There's a picture. It's the last picture of Michael that I have up there. And even though this young man is not in the studio of Michael St. John right now, we do have a picture of Michael St. John and Joshua together. Yay! There's a guy. We hadn't seen him in a few weeks. Let's look at some of those other pictures of Michael St. John, as I have a reason of needing pictures of Michael St. John. There he is at a Reds ball game. By gosh, man, great picture. How about else? What else do we have of Michael St. John? There we go. He is looking dapper, dapper, dapper. And this final one will show of Michael St. John. I don't like the fact the beautiful young lady beside him, I'm assuming is his wife. This show goes all over the world. Millions of people have the opportunity to watch it. So if that's not his wife, somebody's in trouble. Michael's probably mad at me for stooging it off, but it is what it is because he sent it to me. Welcome to the show with your first take. Mr. Michael St. John missed you last week, and I don't remember why in the world you missed the show last week. Oh,
had an emergency trip to our Tennessee station, just popped up in the middle of the day. Had to run up there with Adam Ward, my operations guy, and fix something on Pumpkin Branch Road. If Randy West is listening and lives in Sumner County, over in that neighboring county in Trousdale County, Pumpkin Branch Road is where Macon County and Trousdale County and Smith County all come together on top of that mountaintop. And, you know, the good thing about it is so high, there's no snakes because there's no water up there. That's the good thing. The bad thing is the mosquitoes don't care. So we fixed it with some mosquito bites to bring it home. So here we are. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate showing those photos. I should have left Melanie's picture in there. That's my wife. And yes, I don't think she's ever been on the show.
You think I don't already know what you look like?
Well, Joshua was groveling about coming over, but first day of kindergarten is in the morning, and his mama said no.
I understand that.
So
probably a wise decision. Do you have a first take today?
My first take is, the wrestling business is one that, is a great refuge right now if you want to escape the craziness of politics. And I found myself, I'm not watching the Olympics, too political, too crazy. Don't think they should even have them. And not watching any political stuff. So I'm either watching the Reds on TV or I'm watching wrestling. That's it. So if you're wanting to escape the world of politics, boy, oh boy, this is a great place to do it. Although I think wrestling does have its share of politics, but thank God it's not as crazy as the world is politically right now. So that's my first take.
All right. We want to bring in the assistant superintendent of Southside School. He's been missing a few weeks. He's back, and he probably won't be a regular too often on this show because we are close to the day that school comes back. And when that happens, he's a busy man. Here's the first take, ladies and gentlemen, from Chris freaking Ellis.
Glad to be back, RH. Great to see you and Michael. Everybody say hello to everybody out there. My first take is 2 weeks of freedom are left. School starts 2 weeks from tomorrow, and we got a lot going on. We're building some massive buildings here. We're another year or two away, so I got a lot to do. But more importantly, college football is about 3 weeks away. You got to have your priorities right. College football is 3 weeks away. So next to wrestling, college football, and me and Michael will have to agree to disagree on MLB because since 14 quit playing for the Reds, I'm not for the Reds. So he was my guy. But anyway, all that being said, that's my first take. 3 more weeks to college football.
I'm going to do a little housekeeping with Adam's help as he's going to start at the bottom and work the way to the top. I don't get many complaints about this show, but I've had several people say, are you not hearing my messages? Or are you not hearing my comments? You never say hi to me anymore. So let's start at the bottom and let's run through them, Adam Dunn. And let's put them up on the screen. And I got to mute my phone right now as we look at the screen. And here we go. Michael Clark says, hello, Randy, Michael, and Chris. Hello, Michael. Gregory White says, school started last Friday, and I think he is in the Mississippi area, if I'm not wrong. Hey, Greg. Thomas says, hello to Chris. Chris, say hello to Thomas.
Hey, Al. Glad to be back.
You never said hi to Thomas, and he's the one that said to you.
Yeah, I did. I said, hey, Thomas. And then I said, hey to Al. I said, hey to both.
I heard the Al, but I don't know if you muted yourself or what. Al, there he is, says hello, Chris. As we move it on along, get these comments on here. Gregory White says, watching Razorback football fall practice. All right. Dave's channel says a friend of mine in New Bedford, Massachusetts, just watched his last match after 40 years of indie wrestling, the Portuguese stallion Carlos Melo. The Portuguese Festival this past weekend in New Bedford. So that's great for him. As Dave Gray says, good day, sir. I'm ready. Always. Hey, Richard Hood, what's going on? We're doing good. We are fired up. Big show today. Brooke Tyler says hello. Randy Hills and the rest of the team, hello to you as we move along. As PJ says, hi, everyone. Talking Memphis wrestling on the 6th day, my buddy Randy West. Randy Dandy, Randy West. All right. Hey, Randy Dandy. Randy told me no about something I asked him today, but that's okay. I still love him, as Gregory White says. Yellow again, everybody. And I guess, I'm assuming, though, M.N. Thompson. Hey, what's going on? Says hello, all. And we will see if there's any more at all going on. And I don't think there is. Before we get into pictures of the day, we'll get a lot of information, and we have a big announcement about next Monday's Power Pro. Adam has not heard this. We're kind of changing plans a little bit. We'll still do the Power Hour, but we have a special thing next week. Last week's show, as I told you earlier, was fantastic. We're in full screen. I'm spending probably 14 hours a day making sure the night to remember in Jackson, Tennessee, everything's great. The Hall of Fame people are being added. We added one today. I'll tell you about it. But last week, we made the initial announcement. And this announcement, as this is a show put together by KAW Wrestling, MCW Wrestling, and Terry Golden, and USWA, CWA, and Power Pro Wrestling. That part put together. So 2 rivals in Terry Golden and KAW and Power Pro and myself working together for this amazing event. And I got new information, and I think everybody will like that. Hopefully, the entire panel will be there, And hopefully, I hadn't told you this, Michael, I'm going to be busy that day, but there will be a meet and greet. And I want you to, if we can get Adam to be able to shoot it, I want you to host 2 or 3 live updates with the panel, with Pat, with Chris, and do some live cut-ins. Tries to sell some tickets, unless we
Amen.
sell out, and we may sell out.
Hey,
Early.
I love it. I love it. I'll be glad to do whatever you need me to do, and I'm looking forward to it. It's such an honor, and to see these organizations working together, it shows hope. I love it because right now, you guys working together is a heck of a lot better than our government's working together. So keep doing what you're doing, Randy.
You would have been thrilled, and Chris, you would have been too. A great podcast, because that's what you just said. We were able to get together, and since day one on this project, working together, no argument, no disagreements. It's gone great. It's fantastic. He's working real hard. I'm working real hard. It's a fantastic thing, and we'll talk about that information. Hello, Greg Wayne, and hello, Frankie. What's going on? And Whoopi, maybe after I go off the air, you can give me a call back, because right now I'm live as live can be. We've added stuff. We have a bunch of stuff. But I'm telling you, last week, if you missed it, one of the most heart-wrenching, I think, and sincere and real pieces of business we've ever done on Talking Memphis Wrestling during our talk last week with Terry Golden, as we watch now. Let's go to me full screen right now, because it is my freaking show. And nobody knew I was going to do this, because I think for the last hour plus, you see the passion, watching the show every week, the passion I have of the wrestling business. And I can tell you right now, there is one person, absolutely there is, and Randy West will get hot when I say this, and a lot of people has said this. A lot of people even has said it's happened when it hadn't happened, knocked me because it happened, and other people knocked me because it hadn't happened. That's a part of any Hall of Fame, whether it's football or baseball, or it doesn't matter. It's certainly a Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. People are going to get their panties in the wad, and that's just what it is. But I think you realize by the passion that you've heard on this program today, and that he's devoted his life, and he has spent since 2001. He is a fantastic father. By the way, Terry Golden, did you know that I've talked to your sons?
No, not at all.
Did you know they were booked on this show?
They're not wrestling, I promise you that.
Well, up to you said it a few minutes ago, I didn't think there was going to be any wrestling, so that's a curveball to me, big time. Anyway, no, they have a duty to do. But anyway, I want to compliment you. You've had several businesses. I don't know if you want to plug it or not, but I could. But you have a very successful multi businesses in West Tennessee, and you're great. But more important than that is you've been married to the same woman for a long time, and she must be a saint if she's put up with your ass for as long as she has. 2 great sons that were great athletes, without a doubt. You want to know what their job is going to be on September the 21st?
I'm scared to even ask.
They are going to, if you accept the invitation, they are going to accept you. They are going to do the induction for Terry Golden's story into the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame for his work as a wrestler, for his developmental work as a talent, developing talent, and giving people an alternative product that helped Memphis Wrestling. Terry Golden, accept my invitation to be in the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. Wow. So, yeah, that's kind of a shocking.
We said we would share everything with each other, but I wasn't going to share that with you.
Yeah, I had no idea you talked to my kids. Actually, before I come on here, I told them I had to do a podcast, and they act like I didn't have a clue what I was talking about. So that's awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Absolutely, I accept, but I got to do it on one condition.
Okay.
My guys at KW, we're a team. You get one of us, I'm coming for all of them. So I'm coming in there representing every one of them because that's my heart.
Yeah.
But absolutely, man. Yeah. Thank you very much. I deeply appreciate it.
From last week, the induction announcement, and we gave him a little surprise. He did not know that was coming. Your reaction from that emotional reaction, first of all, Chris, we'll go with you, then Michael.
Well, to hear you speak passionately like you do and to see Terry's reaction, I've heard an old song this week when I was working out by Florida Georgia Line called May We All. And May We All, and it talks about different aspects of life. When I see people like yourself and Terry so passionate, it means so much to them, like Michael going in the Broadcasters Hall of Fame, we only get to go around this world one time. And to touch people's heart and make a difference in other people's lives that leads to you being recognized, whether all the three of you are very deserving of all your acknowledgments. I just think that's outstanding. I think that's what we should all aspire to.
Michael St. John?
Well, I know how it hit me when, Randy, you gave me that opportunity. And to see that reaction, it choked me up. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm sitting here with a lump in my throat right now. But, there's so many people around Memphis wrestling for all the years it's been done that maybe didn't share the spotlight or didn't share the limelight. But without them, that wouldn't have been a bright light. And I think he's one of them. Terry's one of them. I mean, there's people we can start naming probably the rest of the show. But if it weren't for people like them, the product that Memphis wrestling was and became and is today would not be there. So congratulations. It is well deserved. I'm looking forward to seeing him, and God bless you, man. God bless you. Great idea, Randy. Great idea.
We will get into the details. Right now, just a few things, 2 or 3 minutes before we get into the pictures of the day. Adam, if you can go ahead and put up the Night to Remember poster right there, and we'll do the hard selling for that in a little bit, but want everybody to know that a Night to Remember celebrating classic Memphis wrestling, Saturday, September the 21st in Jackson, Tennessee. Absolutely, we will have, as KW Wrestling and Power Pro Wrestling, Terry Golden, Randy Hales presents this great event, hosted by the son of Lance, Shane Russell, and Brandon Baxter, and we will have the 2024 class of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. Also, the rivalry for the ages, a special tribute to the long-running feud between Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee. You see that clip right now. That will be presented to both in frames to Lawler and Dundee. You see referee Jerry Calhoun. Scott's Art is who did that, Adam. You remember our buddy that we've had on here? He did a great job with that. Do you agree? Do you agree, Michael?
That's a nice piece of artwork. That is very, very nice. Let me ask you this. Will there be posters of that at the event for sale for the fans?
Probably. We're definitely going to have two nice, expensive frame presentations to them, but certainly that as well. One announcement that has not been made. This event will be sponsored by Budweiser, Thomas Media Group in Jackson, Tennessee. Are you aware of Thomas Media there, Michael?
I'm not familiar with the group itself. I think they own some radio stations, do they not?
Yes, they're the big radio group in one of them anyway in Jackson, Tennessee, there are a sponsor. Also, the Slide and Ride Rodeo. They'll host an after party. It's a bar, folks. It's an after party after the matches, and however, they will be having spirits there as well. And Terry, I don't have a graphic on this, Terry has texted me and said he has added Pro Shingles as a sponsor. So we appreciate Budweiser. We appreciate Thomas Media. We appreciate Slide and Ride. Throughout the show, we will get new announcements, people that's going to be there. I'll tell you, friend of the show, Michael, our buddy Pat Rose said, hey, can me and Camden, yes, absolutely, Setting the Hook. Is that the name of it? The
Set
show?
the Hook. Yes, it is.
Absolutely, Setting the Hook. He does a great job with that. And so he and Camden are going to come, and I got an idea, and I thought it would be a very good idea, and I'm going to have to find the video right now. So give me about 15 seconds, 20 seconds. This won't be long, but just remind everybody about our buddy Pat Rose, who will be in attendance. He will have his book. He'll have a lot of fishing stuff, all kinds of stuff, and he will have his talented son there. Michael, give me some time here.
World Championship Fisherman. Of course, we carry the show on our Tennessee station and have for a long time. A lot of folks swear by that show. When Pat was wrestling, a lot of people swore at him. Now they're swearing by him, which is good to hear. But it's a great show. I mean, he has some phenomenal guests. And Pat, one of my favorite people of all time in this business. And there's not a nicer person, and there's not a better wrestler. And from everybody on the fishing trail, and we got Guntersville Lake right down the street here, they all tell me that he is one of the most respected people in the world of professional fishing. And so that sort of tells the story.
Now, we have his son who is aspiring, and he has a record contract and has records out there. We have Camden Smith that will perform the national anthem before we get it going. We are doing meet and greet 4 to 6. Then at 6 o'clock, before the festivities and the ceremonies, we will have this young man. What I'm going to show you right now, I didn't preview it. I just said, hey, Pat, send me a YouTube video of Camden and his music. This is Hard to Hold on the Bottles. So I have an idea he's a country music singer. Would you think, Michael and Chris?
And with that title, he has to be, right, Chris?
Let's enjoy this music. And this is unusual, but what the hell? Expect the unexpected on Talking Memphis Wrestling. Here's Camden Smith.
But what you see is what you get. Girl, I know it ain't no mystery. I've been drinking that Tennessee whiskey to get you out of my head. So I grabbed the keys and I hit the road to the blue lights call. Hell, girl, I've already lost it all. Now I don't care which way I'm going, but I know it's hard to hold on the bottle when I'm pushing down on the throttle. Yeah, the speed takes the pain away and the sorrow. I know I feel it tomorrow, 'cause that bourbon is my only escape. Girl, I'm sure you smell the whiskey on my breath of the phone every time you call and say that you miss me. Girl, just leave, don't say you love me, 'cause if you do, why'd you cut the strings that we thought we had for centuries? So just let me go, 'cause all I know is getting hard to hold on the bottle when I'm pushing down on the throttle. Yeah, the speed takes the pain away. Yeah, the sorrow, I know I feel it tomorrow.
Hard to hold on the bottle. Frankie says Pat Rose is a longtime friend of mine since childhood. I saw his first match at TV 12 in Chattanooga against Ken Lucas, and he didn't disappoint. I knew from a child he had it naturally in him, and certainly that is a good comment for sure. So, folks, we'll all be there. We might should get his autograph because I have a feeling it might be a year, it might be 5 years, but the way music is now and social media, he could be a worldwide star. I think he has a lot of talent. What did you think of young Camden Smith's great performance there, Chris?
He's definitely got potential. I'm actually personal friends with Dylan Scott because of my ties to the racing business, and those guys start out now streaming and doing self promotion. And used to be they had to use Michael and his network to get themselves out. They get such a huge following now before they even, get a contract. It's amazing what they can do, and he's got unlimited potential, I'd say.
Richard Hood with the thumbs up. Nate says hello to all of us. Terry is doing great stuff. Thomas is Action Mercy. Terry Mercy. So that's from Thomas as we are on Talking Memphis Wrestling back to the night to remember. And Chris and Michael, I don't know. I know for sure that certainly they don't know everything. And we will give more details tonight to remember Saturday, September the 21st, Jackson, Tennessee at the Picture Perfect Event Center. Your tribute to Lawler Dundee, Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame, the meet and greet, a Q&A session, all kind of stuff. And I'll go ahead and make one big announcement that we have decided that we're going to interrupt the Power Hour next Monday night at 7:15. And at that point, we will do a countdown and put up the website and advance tickets, and they'll go quick, people, especially the premium VIP tickets. It will go on sale next Monday night during the Power Hour. And it says there 7:30 Central, 7:15 to 7:30, depending on how we're doing with the Power Hour up to that point. Excited about that. The other big announcement, and I think you will like this, we'll read the whole list of Hall of Fame honorees, but I confirmed, I signed it, I sealed it, I delivered it. I think, Michael, you'll be thrilled to death. Chris, I think you will respect this guy, one of the originals of the old CWA thing, started wrestling in 78, about the time that Coco Ware. One of the best. We're going to have two of the greatest wrestling trainers of all time. Of course, we announced last week Tom Pritchard in the Hall of Fame, and he will be live as live can be. He will be there at Jackson, Tennessee for a night to remember. The other person, somebody that I've known for a long time, before I knew Tom, and I love Doc, and we've had great conversation lately. And we have a picture of this next person, probably one of the last pictures I have up here. He's the Nightmare. He's Danny Davis. He lives now in Clearwater, Florida. And I'm thrilled to death to announce newest member of the Hall of Fame that we're announcing right now is Nightmare Danny Davis. We came to the agreement today. Thrilled to death. Thrilled as I can be. And what do you think about that big news? You're smiling ear to ear. I can't believe it. You are both of you smiling ear to ear. So I guess both of you, Michael, I guess both of you are happy with that decision.
Home run, buddy. Home run, man. And Danny's always been one of my favorites, without a doubt. And by the way, I appreciate you inviting Tom. Tom, when I had the opportunity to do some of the wrestling shows in Dallas with the USWA and WCCW back in the day, I had Tom as a partner on the mic, and next to Jerry Lawler, there's none better. But I will tell you, I will wear my mask. I will wear my mask to the event because Tom is the man who spread the coronavirus to me the last time I saw him live in Tennessee years ago. But thank God all turned out well, and I love Tom like a brother. And thank you, Randy, for that. And great selection with Danny Davis. Absolutely great.
Michael probably cost me 750 tickets right there with that conversation. Coach Chris.
Tom will be safe, I promise.
Chris?
I'm a fan of Dr. Tom. I'm glad. I'm glad he's in. That'll be fun to see him. And then I was always a Danny Davis fan because I'm a little guy, and he could really work for a little guy. Plus, I forgot to add this till I just thought of this. At my meeting last week when I missed the show, I was with Randy Orton's high school coach.
Oh, really?
And he
That's
talked
cool.
about meeting Danny Davis when Randy was training in OVW. We had this conversation a week ago tonight. That is so crazy. And he talked about having a conference with Cowboy Bob Orton. Like when parents come to see you about playing time, and it's Cowboy Bob Orton. So a little nerve-wracking. But we talked about Danny a week ago tonight that the coach had gone to Louisville to watch Randy before he went to WWE. That's crazy that happened.
Yeah, that's a fantastic story. Pictures of the day, something that broke was, they say it was leaked. I don't think it was a leak. I think it was planned because this sucker wasn't leaked, people. Both parties had to be a part of this. There's no doubt about it. Could it be a publicity stunt? Could it be a message to the WWE to get Shane McMahon a job?
Could it be a work?
Yeah, on Shane working Tony. Said, man said, because the rumor has it that he's been trying to get back into the WWE. His family doesn't own it. His brother-in-law, of course, is the head of creative there. And there's Shane McMahon in a Texas airport. All of a sudden, Tony Khan all of a sudden just happened to be in an airport conference room. And then Shane McMahon was, in hell, it's great publicity. It really is. I mean, it makes people think, do I think it will ever happen? Do I think that Shane McMahon will ever go to AEW? Do I think he will help? Absolutely. 100, I think he will help. Give energy. He could be in management. He could be an on-air character that he's good at, as long as he doesn't wrestle, because he gets hurt every time he does that. But I think it's interesting, and it's so good to see, Michael, that there's positive stuff coming out of AEW and not like we've seen with somebody. And just 2 days after that, they said Brett Baker's been suspended for getting an argument with MJF, and so they need somebody with a big fist to come in to help out things. But it's just an interesting story, Michael.
Well, first of all, that was taken at an airport, and I recognize that room. That is in the Arlington airport room, which is just south of the DFW airport. That is an executive airport. That is where business people flying private planes in and out of Dallas, they avoid the big airport at Dallas, Fort Worth at DFW, and they avoid Love Field, and they fly into the airport there in Arlington, very close to the venue where, if I'm not mistaken, over the 4th of July weekend, or maybe a weekend before, Tony had a big show in Dallas with AEW. So that's Shane. They probably, I think it's a situation, they probably ended up in the same airport at the same time. Mercedes Monet has come forward and said she snapped the picture, but that's in one of the spare rooms there, one of the little conference rooms they have at the Arlington airport. And there's Shane. But to build anything else other than two wrestling families or two wrestling folks getting together at a private airport, hey, they ran into each other, they chatted about wrestling. That's all I'm reading into it. If they're making it try to make it a sensationalistic story or something like that to turn the wheels of AEW, well and good. That's fine for them. But I think that's just two business people that from wrestling families or wrestling organizations that happen to be in the same room at the same time at a private airport.
I think both of them knew that picture was going to be released. Do you agree with that? Nobody tricked the other.
Absolutely.
Chris, what's your thoughts of that?
Well, I saw Todd Alexander said Shane doesn't need the money. He just wants to be part of it. we had this last time I was on the show, RH. We talked about people loving the business so much, but they have to work for the money. But would you do it if you didn't need the money? I think both of those guys, Tony doesn't need the money. That's why he's in it. That's his hobby. And Shane doesn't need the money. So is it possible that Shane wants to be in it just because he loves it and he doesn't have to work for the money?
Sure it is. It's possible. But I think he would rather be in his family's past company. And I think it's on his side, I think he knows that the WWE will think, we can't have a McMahon working for the competition, even though we blow him away, and nobody will argue with that at all. And I'm not going to, because I've never seen a wrestling company in my life as hot as the WWE is right now. I want to look at another picture.
Randy, if I may add something just real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Sure. Just real quickly here. Shane McMahon is sort of the black sheep of the McMahon family in that he was passed over. Normally a dad will pass his business on to a son. And it went to his daughter, who was very, very bright and has done a wonderful job. But, could there be a little bit of bad blood or a little bit of professional jealousy? Could be, but I don't see Shane turning his back on the family fortune and what made him as rich as he is today, unless, like Coach is saying, that maybe there's this burning gut that way down there that because he's like, 53, 54 years old. Maybe he wants one more shot at a wrestling match. And just like AEW has showcased people like the Von Erich kids, or they've showcased when the death of who's the guy I'm talking about. Anyway, they showcase people every now and then. They bring in stars like Shaquille O'Neal. I could see possibly maybe doing a one shot with Shane, but I don't see anything fishy about it.
Shane Odom says, Randy, is there a promoter from the past that you would like to work with? And I'll ask Michael the same question. I would say Ron Fuller. Because that was the closest, I think that was closest to Memphis and did a great job. And I knew Robert Fuller, so I would say there. Also, I wouldn't have wanted to work for Ole Anderson, I don't think, but I would have liked to work for Georgia Championship Wrestling. Bill Watts in that territory, I love his brand of wrestling. I think he would have been hard to work with for sure. So, Michael, who would you like to work with? I'll
go old school and say Sam Munchnick, because he was the guy that, brought all the territories together. I met him, had dinner with him a couple of times, went to his condominium and saw all his archives. I always thought Sam was a businessman and a businessman plus in this business. So that's mine. I would have liked to have also, I think, worked for all the stories that I hear from the boys, would have loved to have worked for Jim Crockett, because he too had he was a sports minded guy. He owned a baseball team, for gosh sakes.
Right.
So wouldn't mind working for Jimmy Crockett.
And you're talking about Jim Crockett Sr.
Senior, yes, sir.
Senior for sure. Interesting subject, different type of show, and it's fun just to be able to shoot the you-know-what. We'll talk about SummerSlam. I don't know who watched it. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But with pictures of the day, we got two more to go, and we're going to show 3150. Picture number 31 picture. This is from the gathering in Charlotte, North Carolina this past Saturday. Jerry the King Lawler, and you go ahead, Michael.
Dennis Condrey. Huntsville, Alabama's own resident, Dennis Condrey.
Midnight Express member Dennis Condrey and the King Jerry Lawler at the gathering in Charlotte, North Carolina. Chris, what did you think about that picture?
Well, I'm a huge Dennis Condrey fan. You know that from not just the Express, but the Bicentennial Kings. Him and Phil, I love them, So it's good to see him. It looks like he's doing pretty good. I last saw him on AEW one night, so I'm glad. That's great. It's great to see Dennis Condrey.
Picture number 3149, and to describe this picture is Michael St. John. 3149 is that picture, and we're working to find that right now. And so Here we go from the left to the right, Michael.
Well, this is a set at Channel 2 in Nashville, and Lynn Rossi was the commentator at this time for Nick Goulas. And I'm going to say that is left to right is Dennis Hall and
Yes.
Tommy Gilbert, Lynn
Yes.
Rossi, and Mr. Eddie Marlin.
Absolutely. Dennis Hall, Tommy Gilbert, Lynn Rossi, and Eddie Marlin. Eddie doesn't look real happy. Randy, I believe I sent that picture to Randy West. I sent that picture to Diane the other day. Don't know if she showed you or not. Always loved to see me. My mentor, certainly the great Eddie Marlin. That's a great picture as we lose the picture.
It is. And the artwork on that art card, is that not Lawler's? It looks like the artwork of Lawler on that art card on the desk. The artwork behind him, I believe, was done by Saul Weingroff, but I think Lawler did the one on the desk.
Yeah, I think it looks like Lawler's style, no doubt about it. Chris, what did you think about that photo?
Well, I just sit here and thought, I don't know that I ever saw Dennis Hall wrestle. I'm sure I did, but I don't recall it. Obviously, Eddie and Tommy, I remember. And I always thought that Eddie looked more like Tommy, but in that picture, I think Doug looks a little more like Tommy than I ever thought. That looks like Doug sitting there to me.
That's pretty cool, as that's just a super picture. Folks, the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame coming up in September the 21st, and almost every week I tell you the story of where that came from. It came from my brain, and it came in March of 1994. We usually would throw in the Monday Night Memories video. We won't do that now, but my idea was to do Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame every year, a yearly event. Started in 94, we did it in 95, then the bottom fell out with the Attitude Era, with the decline of Memphis, and we just didn't do it again until I started working for Jerry Lawler's Hall of Fame Bar and Grill, and we did 2 different Hall of Fame ceremonies, including a big one that included Jim Cornette, included Coco Ware, Bill Dundee, Jerry Lawler, all kinds of people was involved there. Then we skipped to just a couple of years ago, and we'll get out of it, Adam, when I say to get out of it. We won't show the whole 50-minute video. We will probably not show any inductions, but at the casino in Mississippi, Jerry Lawler's running the show, and we piggybacked on it. I think it's loaded. Is it not? Let's push that button and see what it is. I thought I did. Let's see what this is, Adam. It's not, so we will go ahead. Let me get Adam off the comments so I can get to my button right now and click on that. It's ready now. Here we go. Adam Dunn put this together. Downtown, good-looking Bruno. Big Papa Pump. Scott Steiner. The Fitz Casino, September the 18th, 2021. We'll hold up and keep it right there. We'll stop it. We'll watch a little bit more of the meet and greet. It was a great event. And we will have a tremendous event coming up in September the 21st as Harry Jones says the video is not on the screen. It's on my screen. Can everybody see that video except for David?
To start the first inductee of the official Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2021.
That's Kevin Lawler talking. And we'll come back in a few minutes. We'll pause that and stop that right there, and we'll pick up the Kurt Angle induction in just a few minutes. First of all, comments starting with Chris about that video put together from the Fitz Casino in Mississippi that Adam did a great job putting that together.
As always, Adam does a great, outstanding job in every aspect of production. It's great for me. I'll always say I'm the fan perspective here, and I get to see these guys and the fans going back. I mean, nostalgia is one of the happiest things in life, because no matter what's going on currently in your life, you go back and relive. You take that, suspend disbelief or whatever, like we talk about. You get to do that. You get to go back and be 12 again and meet your heroes. So that's really cool to see fans. And I know when I went with you to Jackson the last time, RH, how many people, and just watching people and how much of a difference it makes in people's lives. It's really cool to see.
We'll let Michael speak on that, but a couple of things from our audience. Somebody, I think it was Shane, that asked me. Then after Shane, we'll put up Todd's comment that he's asking Michael a question. Shane asked me what was the best advice at the time. I did not think it was good advice. It was an order. I went to him, and I was probably a sophomore in college at Arkansas State University, and I didn't like it because I want to be on the road and I wanted to work the wrestling business full time because I knew that was my future. Anyway, I went to Eddie and asked for a job and told him I was going to quit college, and I've told this story 100 times, and he said, absolutely, you can have a job right away. And I was so happy. Then he said, mowing my yard and taking my groceries out. Said, if you quit college, that means you're quitting something, and we don't hire quitters in the wrestling business. Quitters don't work in the wrestling business. So I got my degree, and so that's the biggest thing it did, because if I wouldn't have done it, I wouldn't be sitting right here. And let's go ahead and put up the question to Michael right now. Michael, go ahead and read the question and answer the question.
It says, doing town-by-town local promos back in the day, were you ever thrown off or scared by any kind of wrestler? No, not really. I've been surprised doing promos by a couple of characters, but I've never been thrown off. The biggest one, I think, happened in Nashville in '79, right after Jerry Jarrett had bought Nick out, and we were doing promos after the Wednesday night show. And I've told the story before. Handsome Jimmy came to town, and I got my chance to interview, and we'd been through a couple of interviews, and we get to the Nashville one, and he's blowing and going, and he grabs, and he said, Michael St. John, you ever dipped? And I was like, no. And he hadn't done this in the other two promos we'd done. So he says, you need to try to dip. And I went, I don't think. And before I could get it out of my mouth, he had pulled my lip open and put a big old wad right down and slapped it back and said, enjoy that. And I'm sitting there. Now, this was a 3-minute interview, guys. This was about 35 seconds into the interview. By the end of the interview, I was spinning. I know I looked green. I was about to throw everything up I'd ever eaten in life. And all the boys just couldn't contain themselves. You could hear them cackling off camera. And then we finished the set, and Jimmy looked at me. I spit that crap out. And Jimmy looked at me and he said, you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not. So, funny things like that, yes, but being scared or anything like that, no.
What did you think about the piece of business that we showed from the casino, that the very last Hall of Fame ceremony we've done? What did you think of that?
That was a very good piece of video, like Coach said, that Adam does. I want to see more of it. I know there's some good shots in it, so
We will.
basically it left me wanting to see more.
We will. We may not show the whole thing, but we will. This next segment of the show, we will do the hard sell. I will be the hard sell guy as we go to the night to remember and also the Waller ceremony with Dundee. We have that on standby too, but let's go ahead and put the graphic up of a night to remember. And I'll go ahead and announce the ticket prices. We already announced that next Monday night during the power hour, the ticket website will go live. I'm telling you, folks, especially the VIP ticket, it will go fast. There is a VIP ticket is for $75, and that is for the front row. There's a limited amount of front row tickets. That gives you no wait at all in the meet and greet line. You can go to the front of the line to do that and talk to all the superstars that are there. It also will include the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame ceremony and the Jerry Lawler Bill Dundee tribute, the Q&A section, all the Q&A session with the legends after the ceremonies. We'll have that, and that ticket for the front row, $75 with all that. Now, the second row prices includes everything, and the Hall of Fame, the Dundee Lawler tribute, everything, the meet and greet. Second row seating is $65, including everything. That's $65. Now, all the other seatings will be first come, first served, except, of course, for the first two rows. That includes the Hall of Fame and the Dundee Lawler feud celebration. That is $45. That will be $45. Now, there's a couple of the events with single event tickets. For the meet and greet only, $25. Hey, why wouldn't you spend the extra thing? Because I think the highlight of the night are the ceremonies, no doubt about it. But meet and greet only, $25. Hall of Fame only is $25 as well. We'll go live with that ticket site next Monday on the Power Hour. Real excited about that. And Chris, just before I give more information, we'll keep on standby that poster, but certainly your thoughts on the ticket prices in Jackson, night to remember, and of course it will be on September the 21st, and I am so excited, I am so fired up, and that will be at the Picture Perfect Event Center at 2310 North Highland in Jackson, Tennessee. Hall of Fame includes a tribute to Lawler and Dundee, the rivalry for the ages. Lawler and Dundee will be there live, and so many more people. But just the ticket prices, what do you think there, Mr. Ellis?
Worth every minute. I mean, worth every penny, if not more. And like you said, why would you not pay for it all? Why would you not want to be ringside to see all these living legends? And let's be real. Maybe the last time they'll ever all be in one place at the same time and get to see the Hall of Fame ceremony, have access to have conversations, pictures, autographs. I mean, it's a great opportunity for fans of Memphis wrestling to come and meet their heroes, people they've always wanted to be with, and make lifetime memories. So worth every penny to come to this show.
Michael, do you agree?
Oh man, I was shocked. The prices, to go to a concert now for Riley Green, who is from this area. His last concert ticket was over at the Sand Mountain Park and Amphitheater. The cheapest ticket was $100, and you didn't get to meet him. You didn't get to take your picture with him. You just got to sit in the hot sun and watch him sing. So this is a great card. This is a great opportunity to share some time with some of the people that, as Coach said, you grew up with. Lots of nostalgia here. And quite frankly, you know, we don't all know how much longer we will have that we all can get together like this. So great opportunity. Really looking forward to being there. 3 hour and 30-minute drive from our house right here in Alabama to the center on Highland in Jackson. I just mapped it out on Waze. I'll be there. That's going to be fun. And folks, inviting all of you. I'd love to see all of you. And boy, just come on out and have some fun, because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a great event, but it's going to be a lot of fun as well.
The Hall of Fame ceremony will be hosted by my friend, Power Pro Wrestling alumni, Brandon Baxter, and the son of Lance, the great Shane Russell, will host the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. So far, here are the inductions. He is the man from New York. He came rolling into Memphis TWA. Tell all the ladies, Handsome Jimmy's on the way. Handsome Jimmy Valiant will be inducted in the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. Formerly with Men on the Mission with the WWE, Sir Mo Bobby Horn in the Hall of Fame. Former USWA champion, former Power Pro heavyweight champion, the Spellbinder. All these great names will be there. Valiant, Sir Mo, the Spellbinder. One of the greatest tag teams in history, the Rock and Roll Express, will be in the house. In the 90s, nobody better than PG-13. Inducted by Doug Gilbert will be Tony Anthony, the Dirty White Boy. Inducted by Pat Trammell, Chris Ellis, Randy Hills. A new member of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame is the great Michael St. John. In memory. Inducted into the Hall of Fame, Jerry Jarrett, and my mentor, my father figure, Eddie Marlin. Depending on if he can fly or not, it will be a video induction or a live induction, one or the other, the Dirty Dutchman, Dutch Mantel. We saw the video from last week, Terry Golden as well. Double J, Jeff Jarrett, again, he's on the poster, but Jeff Jarrett has a baseball team, a minor league baseball team that's doing wrestling night. He will not be there, but we'll have a video of him. Again, two great wrestlers, two great entertainers, Tom Pritchard and Danny Davis, both will be there, and I'm so excited for that. Also in attendance on the event in the meet and the greet, Memphis Wrestling Hall of Famer Coco Ware, Memphis Wrestling Hall of Famers Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert, Memphis Wrestling Hall of Famer Downtown Bruno. We'll discuss this when we come out of this in a minute. I just want, so you guys remember who I'm saying. Coco Ware, Tommy Rich, Doug Gilbert, Downtown Bruno, Cousin Carl Fergie, Reggie B. Fine, Tony Falk will be in the house, Jerry Calhoun, all the Hall of Fame honorees, and of course we have Shane Russell, we have Brandon Baxter, we have that certainly Danny Davis and Tom Pritchard will be at that event. They will be all kinds, I think I'm at 11 vendor tables. So bring your checkbook, bring your cash, all that will take place. The crew from Kick-Ass Wrestling KEW will be there. Also the crew from Power Pro Wrestling, of course I'll be there, Brandon will be there, Derek King, Tony Williams, it's Kid Wicked, Kevin Lawler, who had worked on our television, Lance Jade, who always says, I'm here to steal the show. Lance Jade will be here. Blade will be in the house. So will Alan Steele. We will also have Terry with the list, and we will hopefully tell you what members of the KAW group and two big names representing Power Pro Wrestling in the meet and greet. And this is loaded, Michael, but the King of Kingsport, Bo James, and his nephew Waylon will be in the house. You need to bring Joshua.
I will
So
do my best.
we'll start with you because I just went through. This was a lot of work, but it's been a thrill. It's been absolutely fantastic. By the way, plan to have next Tuesday on Talking Memphis Wrestling another new member, the Spellbinder. As you see there, we just have 3 of the Hall of Fame plaques done, and there's the Spellbinder, and we're so excited about him. As your buddy Conrad Thompson says, there's a lot to unpack here, Jeff. Well, Michael, there's a lot to unpack, a lot of information, so we'll turn it back over to you.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you mind if I invite Conrad to come up?
No, not at all.
Okay, I've got to go see him next week, so I will invite him because I'll bet you he'll do it. If he hasn't got something planned, he's a big wrestling fan and he's known to make road trips, so I'll bet you he would do it to something like this. But I'll mention that to him for sure.
And
Absolutely.
tell him he would certainly. We have great Wi-Fi in the building, great setup, and he's welcome to do any recording or anything. We have Q&A session, just whatever he wants to do. We would love to have him, and I've been meaning to ask Jeff that, but I have not. But impressive list.
Incredible. It's an incredible list. You know, the thing about it, and again, looking where you got it priced with ticket prices, you look at all these people, and they're going to be there right there in the flesh for you to meet. I mean, how many times you don't get this in baseball at the Baseball Hall of Fame induction? You don't get it at the Football Hall of Fame induction. Heck, you don't get it at the Alabama Broadcasters Association Hall of Fame induction. So, I mean, this is a great event, and it's a great event for people. Like I said, and Coach, you said it best, buddy, to have that nostalgia going for you, but it's going to be a fun event. This is something where we're there to celebrate, and we're celebrating the great honor it is to be a part of the most wonderful sport in the world in professional wrestling, but certainly in the most talked about and revered territory ever in the Memphis Mid-South territory.
All right, we'll ask Chris in just a minute, but I'll say, Terry Jones says, how did Tony Falk get into the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame? That's one person that Jerry Lawler requested. 99.8% of the people in the Hall of Fame has been me at live inductions. There's a couple of exceptions. Burt Prentice is one of them, and also Tony Falk is one. Tony Falk, my riding partner and one of my very close friends, and he very much so deserves that. Chris, your comment. I don't know how much I had on notes and what I had on notes, what I didn't have on notes. I was kind of just, I have about 14 pieces of papers here. By the way, Mark James from MarkJamesBooks.com will be there. What's your thought? Is it kind of overwhelming to you with all this talent that I have talked about?
It's going to be super big. It's a huge amount of talent. And the guy asked about Tony. We were in Jackson last. I met Tony. What a great guy. Super nice guy. Well deserved to be of this honor. But I was sitting here thinking when you're reading off these names, there's a documentary on Big East basketball called Rakeem for the Big East. And the commissioner gets emotional because he's talking about, he goes, Georgetown and Syracuse was my rivalry. And Michael, no, certainly my highest respect for you, but you said one of the best territories. No, the best territory ever in Memphis is Memphis wrestling. The best territory, no question. And you get to see all your heroes, all the stars, all the people who made it what it is today, from the booker to the announcers, to main eventers, to the curtain jerkers. It don't matter. They're all there. And that's my that's my territory, just like it was his rivalry. By God, this is my territory. This is my heroes. This is all our people watching. This is our deal. Come and see it. It's going to be awesome.
Todd Alexander says, what kind of merchandise? We're still getting information from the vendors. The Mark James has great wrestling classic programs, and certainly I think I have some here somewhere. He has these posters like on each side of me. We have all kinds of programs. He has, Mark James has that. The talent, the legends will have their merchandise table. There'll be books, there'll be pictures, there'll be videos, there'll be t-shirts, everything you can think about it. There's no doubt about it. Dave says, good luck, Randy, with your event in September. And let's just don't say my event. It's our event. It's for the fans of Memphis Wrestling. And it's been put on by, couldn't do it without Terry Golden. I want to make that clear. And also that certainly the number one goal of both of us is the guys that we've been off the air for 25 years almost, the guys that are mostly all out of the business and they don't get that recognition. We want to for sure recognize the KEW, the MCW, and the Power Pro people without a doubt. And I think Michael had his hand up.
Randy, if I may add two things. First of all, the folks that listen and watch this podcast, if you guys are coming, please be sure to say hello. I would love to meet you guys face to face. And also to the same crew that's watching and developing, you guys are all about social media, and you've got a great expanse of social media all over the world. Get the word out about this, because this is a once in a lifetime event. No event will ever come close to this event. So this event is something special. If you're a fan, if you're dedicated to the memory and the legend of Memphis wrestling and all the people that were involved, spread the word. Help us spread the word about this, because this is a must see, must come to event.
Terry Golden and I were talking today, and he has the connections with the building. By the way, hosted by KC Gold and TCW Wrestling, Tennessee Championship Wrestling. He normally promotes wrestling in that event. There will be no matches. This will be an absolute celebration. No matches, because to be honest, a lot of the legends that's going to be there, they are retired and they don't wrestle. Some of them might have could. There's very few, like Rick Morton does, Tommy Rich does, Doug Gilbert does. There's just so many of them that don't. But this is to celebrate and have one-on-one time with these guys. I'm just so fired up. And Terry's going to go with the bells and whistles. We are working on ways to stream it, a pay-per-view type of situation. So we're working on that right now. We hadn't figured that out yet, but we're certainly working on that. But there's nothing like being in the arena, smelling the popcorn, buying you a beer, whatever you want to do. It's just so exciting, and being there and be able, it's great watching it, and I understand if PJ doesn't come from Thailand, I understand that completely. However, if you're within, I would say 500 or 600 miles, you need to get in that car and you head to Jackson, or you can fly to Nashville. You can fly to Memphis and get a car, and certainly for sure. PJ says, I'd really love to go, but the American Embassy didn't approve her visa.
I'll call the governor. I'll call the senator. That's ridiculous. She should get a visa here.
Well, okay, we said we weren't going to talk politics, but that makes me hot. Let's put that back on there.
Amen. Let me get Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth's on my phone. I'll call him. I mean, we'll get started here. Our state senator, our senator, Senator Tuberville. If this person wants to come to America, by golly, we want her to come to America, and she's doing it the right way. Come on.
And
That's it. I'm calling Tommy. That's it. I'm calling.
Don't go away yet. We have show to do. Don't go away.
I'll make a note. I'll call in the morning.
Calm down. Hey, here's the deal, folks. let's make a plan. Michael will do his part tomorrow by calling the authorities, and as long as PJ wants to do it, and then we are going to go together as all the fans of Team Hales plus Michael St. John, Chris Alice, Pat Trammell, and obviously all the key people around here. We'll try to do a little fundraiser and get money up for PJ to come. Michael will do the political stuff, the government stuff. Of the people that's on the screen now, who would like for PJ to come to Jackson, Tennessee? Raise your hand.
Me. Lord, this is the number one fan of this program.
Yeah.
My
As
goodness.
Tanner says, we want PJ. Tanner says it again. Everybody's saying, Tanner saying we want her to visit. It will be, and Michael said it, this will be a chance of a lifetime. So now we're fired up and taking this show somewhere where we didn't want to go. But by God, Pat Trammell, by the way, is on a business meeting, and he said that he thought that he could get on maybe between 8 and 8:30 for just the last part of the show, but so far I hadn't heard from him. PJ, 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 everybody here, I want Michael and I want Adam and I want Chris all on three with the PJ chant. One, Adam, I want you a part of this, dadgummit. I don't see the button on where your microphone's on. I'm going to count. I guess he's ignoring me. I'm going to count. 1, 2, 3. Everybody, PJ, 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 PJ. All right. Absolutely. Tanner won't be there.
I've got Senator Tuberville's press secretary right here on my phone. So he's getting a call first thing in the morning.
All right, then just explain it. Man, I love it. This proves, Michael, we're going to change directions a little bit and we'll get into that Hall of Fame thing, checking the time here. We've created a great group of friends, Michael, from all over. Right on the show, we got Arkansas and Arkansas. We got Alabama and Alabama with Pat and Michael. We got Adam Dunn, Memphis, Tennessee, now living in Georgia. We have built, as PJ says, thank you everyone, really appreciate it, and it's sincere, and I'll get on the phone with Pat, and Michael's going to get on the phone. We've created something special here in the last 4 years. Michael, your comments first.
It's a family, Randy. We've been through thick and thin together in 4 short years. I feel like you guys are brothers to me in not only blood, but in spirit and in love for this business. And it's a family. When we get together, I mean, if something comes up, the 4 of us, and I'm speaking for Pat as well, we all sort of get our heads together and get things going, and we figure something out, and it turns into something. And we have always been lucky that it's turned into something good. But but we're not here without these people that you see their names and you see their comments. We're not here without these folks. These are the greatest people on earth. So, hey, anything we can do for them, you got my vote.
Your comments on this group of people we put together, Chris.
I can't say it much better than MSJ did. That all the people that watch, you promoted wrestling, I promoted racing. The fans are what makes it. They're the number one reason we do what we do. But you guys are, I mean, I spend so much time working that I don't have a lot of friends. And so I get to take a break on Tuesday nights and have 3 great friends like you. And for me, I'm doubly blessed because I've known RH since I was about 13 or 14 years old. So that's about 45 years. And even though he went to the wrong high school, he has been a loyal friend. He is loyal. He may get on my ass sometimes when I do the wrong thing, but he's still loyal to the death. And then I always tease Michael about this, but being young and laughing at Michael over P.Y. Chuhai, I never dreamed that we'd be buddies. And I still tease him about it today because that's one of my, we just had that text this last week. I mean, you just never know in this life who you're going to get to meet. And that's why I preach to my students. Be nice to people. Be nice to people, man. Like real quick, my step-cousin, my stepbrother's first cousin is Doug McMillan, is the CEO of Walmart. He played Little League baseball with me. So, I mean, you never know who you're going to meet and get to know and have relationships with. All these great people that are on here with us, yourselves, it's just a blessing every Tuesday. And I really hate it. I miss it when school starts because I don't get to be here enough.
Coach, what is the most valuable thing you can give for the cheapest price? A smile.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jeremy Gibson suggests us doing a hashtag bring PJ to United States, #1 Memphis wrestling fan. Michael's calling the government because her visa was denied. We're going to work together. If we can get that ironed out, then we will do a fundraiser, and we're trying to tailgate, bring PJ to the United States, #1 Memphis wrestling fan. And coming into a very exciting part of this show as it's gone away, I expect the unexpected, everybody. Let's welcome Pat Trammell to Talking Memphis Wrestling.
Well, I don't know if you can see me. I'm driving down Thompson Pond Road in Terrytown, Georgia. And it's dark here.
We
It's
can see
late
that.
South Georgia. But I've been listening all night long. What a great, great time we've had.
Hey, go ahead, Michael. Pat, and click your. I don't know if you can do it on your phone. If you click the camera button, that black will go away, and or maybe turn your dome light on.
Well, let's see if I can figure out how to do that. There we go. There I am.
There he is. Hey, Pat.
Hey! Are you a part of this plan, this plot we're doing, this hashtag we're doing to get PJ to the United States, September the 21st?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I will tell you this: I have 1 million Delta miles, and PJ's welcome to every one of them to get over here on a flight.
Wow.
Wow, that's big.
Say that again. Say that again.
I have 1 million miles on Delta Airlines, and PJ's welcome to every one of them to get over here if she wants to come.
See that, PJ? Absolutely. Team Hills, what a scoop. What a program here today. By the way, I'm trying to keep the question. Thomas, we're trying to find Phil. He's had some health issues, and he's in Jackson, Tennessee. I found out David Schultz lives in Henderson, Tennessee, about 20 minutes from the venue. I don't know if he's booked or not. We're trying to get him, so we hope to add people to this guy. Remember, we're working on streaming. We're working on everything for sure about this event, September the 21st. I've already announced that Pat and Chris and I'll be involved too, inducted Michael St. John. And I wanted this, basically in my mind, I was going to do a interview with Michael St. John. We'll do that another time, just talking about his whole career. We're just doing good. So Pat, we'll let you do your first take, and it can be your last take too, but just tell us what's going on in your life and how's everything doing.
Well, I'm headed to Vidalia, Georgia for a meeting in the morning, and it's a says 8:35 our time. No, it'd be 9:35. But I'll tell you, I've missed this. I've listened to the show, and it's been one of our better ones. And I can't do anything but re-emphasize what you and Michael and Chris have said. And I'll tell you, last week with Terry was something really special, and this is just going to be such a special event. and I am like a kid in a candy store. I absolutely cannot wait. And I can't wait to meet all our friends who join us on Tuesday night when we can. And I just encourage y'all to come out. And as Michael said, please let's have time to get together and visit, because you folks are, our friends are as special to me as anybody in my life. And I'll tell you what, Tuesday nights are a special time to me to get to be with all of y'all.
One quick little announcement, breaking news, and it's not breaking to me. I just hadn't announced it. I want to explain to everybody pretty much, even though I didn't give Michael this choice, I just chose for him, but I knew he would agree with me on a lot of inductions. I'm saying, hey, who do you want to induct you? And I was just reminded from a thing, one person that I did a year ago. Next time we do this, I told this guy, that absolutely he deserves. He's great. He's the person from Memphis Wrestling, without a doubt, I talk to the most, the Spellbinder. The Spellbinder has asked me to induct him in the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. So certainly that is the plaque that will be for the Spellbinder, inducted in September of 2024 to the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame, Pat.
Well, that is fantastic, and I know we've had him on several times, and I look forward. I've not been able to meet a lot of our friends either. I've certainly met Bill Dundee and some others, and Tommy Rich 45 years ago, but I certainly look forward to meeting everybody, and that's just going to be a very, very special night. And thanks to you and Terry for pulling it all together, Randy.
What we're going to do next, Pat, I hope, if not, just be patient. I hope you can see it on the phone, but it's not. As we played the beginning of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame, we were leading into the Kurt Angle induction, and we're going to pick up with that right now on Talking Memphis Wrestling with Chris Ellis, Michael St. John, Pat Trammell. I'm Randy Hills. Adam Dunn's the producer as we play from the Hall of Fame at the Fitz Casino.
Angle.
September the 18th, the year was 2021.
Hey everybody, welcome to the 2021 edition of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. Here is 2017 inductee, the great Dave Brown.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Randy. I am so pleased to be here to be a part of this today. Thank you all for coming out. And I'm also pleased to be an inductee of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. So let me, without further ado, turn it back over to the founder of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame, Randy Hales.
All right, Power Pro Wrestling. It was the year 1999. Jim Ross called me on the phone, and he says, as we were the developmental group for the WWF, and he called me and said, hey, we're sending you a wrestler. I said, good. They said, we're sending you a Olympic gold medal winner. I said, great. He later became one of the first Power Pro champion, and his first, tell me if I'm lying, his very first television pro match was on TV5 Wrestling. Want to bring in my friend, who helps me, couldn't do it without him, Kevin Christian Lawler, and he will make this official induction. Kevin?
Kevin had asked
Kurt, I
me
want
to
say,
do
man, first
this.
of all, it's great for you to be back here, great seeing you again. I had the pleasure of getting to have Kurt Angle's first ever wrestling match live on Channel 5. And also another thing that Kurt and I had in common back in those days, when they first sent these guys here, he and I shared the same apartment complex back with guys like, Sean Stasiak was there, Crash Holly, all those guys. We were all staying in the same place. I used to see you coming and going, heading out to Raw and coming back. And another thing, I was trying to break Kurt in. I remember a few times making some of these trips, trying to get him used to what it was like being, one of the boys, so to say. I remember one time we making a trip, stopped at a gas station, and you went in to get something, and I cranked your radio all the way up and turned the heat full blast. And when you got in, it was like boom going. And Kurt hadn't just officially really understood the wrestling business yet. He wasn't a big fan of that little rib I did right then. But one thing I can say, man, from watching your career, man, you definitely got it, and you definitely, man, went a long way. And man, we're glad to officially induct you into the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame right here tonight. I want to present you with this right here. Ladies and gentlemen, Kurt Angle.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. This means so much to me. I started pro wrestling here in Memphis. It has an incredible tradition, probably the best tradition in the world. And I'm very proud that this is where I started. And this is where I started out, and I continued on my path in pro wrestling in WWE, then TNA, and back to WWE. But I always remember this Memphis is my home. And I love you guys very much, and thank you for supporting me. Thank you for this award, guys. I appreciate it.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know there's been a long line waiting for Kurt Angle to get here, so he's on his way to his table right now, and he will be ready for the meet and greet for anybody who wants to go over there, see Kurt Angle, get his autograph, get pictures and everything. Kurt, man, they're waiting for you right over there, man. All right.
All right, if we'll come back out of that, and that was Kurt Angle's induction, Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame in 21. Pat, are you still here? And if you are still here, what are your thoughts, if you saw it, of the Kurt Angle Hall of Fame speech?
Well, I am still here. I'm driving down a dark road with a truck on my tail, so I probably can't talk much. But, one of the biggest names in wrestling in the latter end of the 20th century and first end of the 21st. And, when it comes to professional wrestling, so much of it started in Memphis, and that's an example right there.
Van Wilhoit says Kurt versus Sensational Steve Bradley for the WWE, for the PPW Power Pro Wrestling Champion in the top 5 match in the history of Power Pro Wrestling. I think the top match in the history of Power Pro Wrestling on television was Kurt Angle against J.R. Smooth, better known as Rikishi, and he has 2 great sons right now in the certainly in the wrestling top of the world with the WWE. What did you think about that speech, Mr. Ellis?
I mean, first class all the way by Kurt. It's great that he remembers where he started and pays the respect that it deserves. And then also, I just think about what a tremendous athlete, an Olympic gold medalist. I mean, like that is just that's less than 1%. And I talk about the 1% of athletes. I don't know what the micro percentage is, but Olympic gold medalist. I bet you were jumping out of your shoes, couldn't wait for him to get there, to put him in the ring and promote him.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. And we'll talk to Michael St. John about what we just heard from Kurt Angle getting his Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame award. Michael?
He is one of the few wrestlers that we talk about on this program that I never met or never worked with, but I admired him, and I admired how he went about transitioning from the amateur champion and gold medalist that he was to becoming the wrestler and performer in the wrestling ring that he was. So very, very well deserved. I do want to add, we're seeing Pat from time to time on the screen, and it looks like he just came from a fresh presentation of the Phantom of the Opera, because it looks like he's got one of those little half white masks on driving his car. I hope you don't have a mask on driving that car, Pat.
No, I don't. I'll tell you though, I am in nowhere, Georgia for sure. I'm pulling over right now. I'm afraid this guy in this big old pickup truck's gonna pull up and beat me up. But no, I'm fine. I'm at Tammy's gas station in Vidalia, Georgia. So I
Pick us
pulled
up
over.
some onions while you're there.
I could do that. Is it the season?
I think it is. I did an ad for Foodland a couple of weeks ago with Vidalia onions.
Okay. Well, they're good stuff. So, but I've pulled over for a second, but this is a dark, rainy night in Georgia, man. I think there's a song in that.
Lord, I believe it's raining all over the world.
Yeah, I'll tell you what a special night this has been. I'm glad I've been able to listen more than I talk, and generally the shows are better if I listen more than I talk. But anyway, so good to be with everybody.
We're certainly glad to see you there. I don't know who's next, but let's, if that video still up there, Adam? I don't see it it's up there, and we'll see what's next as we go to this video.
Member into the 2021 official Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. And ladies and gentlemen, to do that, here is Randy Hills, founder and the creator and the director of the official Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Our second inductee is someone that I first saw wrestle in 1975. He first won the Southern Heavyweight Championship in 1976. He's a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. To help me make the induction of Tommy Wildfire Ridge is his longtime friend, his longtime tag team partner, my friend, Dangerous Doug Gilbert. You're not gonna hit me with that darn bat on.
Well, guys, if you're talking history of Memphis wrestling, as far as a kid, I can remember back as when I was 6 years old coming to the Mid-South Coliseum with my dad, Tommy Gilbert. And when you start remembering guys from Memphis wrestling, you start with Jerry the King Lawler, Superstar Bill Dundee, Jimmy Hart. Nobody could forget Jimmy Hart. All the different history in Memphis with Memphis wrestling. Like I said, I remember from when I was 6 years old, and there was guys that started to get in the wrestling business, and like my friend here, Tommy Rich, there was a guy, Jerry Jarrett, Tojo Yamamoto, Eddie Marlin, that wanted to give a younger guy a chance to get in the wrestling business, and there was another guy that Jerry Lawler wanted to give a chance, and his name happened to be Jerry Bryant, which when Tommy Rich
So did Jerry Bryant, right, Tommy, Randy? So what I'm saying is, you remember all these guys, and we talk about the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. There's a guy that was so instrumental during all these years, and so many stories and different angles, and drew a ton of money in Memphis and around the world, went on to be a world champion. And this guy's just like family to me, and just like a second brother. And I think all you guys know what he means as far as in the wrestling business and in Memphis Coliseum. Wildfire Tommy Rich. Thank you, Bubba. Hey, hold on. Before I forget, let me go ahead and be the first one to say, happy to be in the Memphis Hall of Fame, Wildfire Tommy Rich, and here's your plaque. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Lord, Memphis wrestling, what do you say, man? It was the best. I got to wrestle the best of the best. I learned from the best. I was a good guy. I was a bad guy. But through it all, you know, Memphis was always great. Atlanta was good. I mean, I traveled the country. But to get to come home to Memphis and get put into the Hall of Fame, it means a whole lot. You know, I remember the first angle I ever worked, I thought, damn, I need to quit this stuff. Jerry Lawler shaved my head, burned me, and busted my eye all in about 2 weeks. I thought, damn. But anyway, hey, and he always had his favorite, Jerry Calhoun. And what about Jimmy Hart? Jimmy, you hear me talking about you, don't you, boss? Anyway, he talks about one time he made a trip when I turned bad, and me and him made a trip back from Louisville, Kentucky, and he reminds me of it every time. I had a white Corvette. He said we played AC/DC, Highway to Hell, all the way from Louisville, Kentucky to Memphis, Tennessee, man. Hey, I love all of y'all because, hey, the bottom line, without you fans, and a lot of fans turned into my friends too, but without y'all, man, they ain't none of us. So thank y'all very much. Thank you for putting me in the Hall of Fame. Dave Brown, Lance Russell, I mean, it goes on because they made us look good talking about us. So thank everybody, you know. Thank my mom, just everybody. Thank you very much.
For me.
Oh, and Randy Hale.
For me, I want you to do for me one more time.
Somebody say something about fired up.
Tommy Rich will be available for you in the back area or outside.
All right, we'll get out of that right now, and we will go directly to Chris Ellis. Chris, comment on that, and we'll go right into your hot takes, and we'll get out of this show pretty early tonight, as it's been a great thing, and I don't want to ruin a good thing. So what do you think about Tommy Rich in 2021, September the 18th, becoming a member of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame?
Well, my first memories was 74, so he started within the first year of my memories of watching wrestling. Obviously, I remember all of his time there and always was a fan and thought he was really good. And he mentioned his mom. His mom even made an appearance on TV5 on a wrestling show. So his mom even had one shot, I guess, as you call it, on TV5 wrestling one Saturday morning.
Final comments for the show today from you, Chris Ellis. Good to have you back.
Well, I'm always glad to be on. It's hard to say like I always say, I'm the fan on here. I wasn't in the business. I have so much respect for you guys and all these guys. So thankful for all these people that join us every week and the people who keep this alive. You know, when I was a kid, I loved two things. And Randy, you've actually been a part of both of those. I loved wrestling and I loved baseball. And I am fortunate that I get to be a part of it and have connections with a lot of former MLB players and with you guys in Memphis Wrestling. And I'm looking so forward to the show in September and getting to meet a lot of people and be a part of this and meet a lot of those guys that I've never gotten to meet as well.
Let's go to Pat Trammell. His comments on the Tommy Rich induction. Pat, now you're back in the dark again, but we want your comments on the Tommy Rich induction and, of course, your last take of the show today.
Well, I mean, you know, Tommy is very special to me because he was on Georgia championship early on, and then Tommy wrestled in the first match that we did at my high school. And anyway, he won't remember this, but he told me how he got in the business. And he told me that his parents were neighbors with Jerry Jarrett, and Jerry had him working on his horses and cows and all that stuff to train to be a wrestler. So it'll be special to meet Tommy and connect. But it's been
Last comments.
Great night tonight, even in the rain and in the dark in somewhere South Georgia.
Very good. Everybody remember hashtag let's get that PJ to the United States. Comments on the Tommy Rich induction and also his final take. Here is future Hall of Famer Michael St. John. Want to talk about what the Hall of Fame meant to him? We're out of time and we have a month's worth of shows to do that. Final take and comments about the Tommy Rich induction from Michael St. John.
You know, I don't know if there was an athletic professional wrestler in the Memphis territory. It started in Nashville than Tommy Rich. I remember Tommy Rich playing ball and playing football at Hendersonville High School when he was in high school, and he was one heck of an athlete. And I say, and I underline the word heck of an athlete, he was amazing. And then when I got to work with him, he was very young and just coming of age, if you would. But boy, you talk about somebody that cruised up the ladder and did it the right way. Wildfire certainly did that. And I don't think you can ever find a wrestling fan that didn't like Tommy Wildfire Rich, whether he was in Memphis, whether he was in Atlanta. He went to the WWE, I think, for a cup of coffee, but great athlete and a good person all the way around, and a neighbor. And with the story he tells about Jerry Jarrett was absolutely true, because I lived up Bonita Parkway about another half a mile, and that was 100% a true story.
Final take of the show today as we're about to get out of here.
You know, my heart's beating hard tonight because this show has really hit my heart, from the wonderful fans, from the swell of reaction to getting PJ over here for this event. We're all going to work our tails off to that, but also to you guys, to you, Pat, to you, Coach, to you, Randy. I owe an incredible debt of gratitude for even allowing me to be a part of this. And I thank you for allowing me to do this. And I thank you for all the wonderful comments. Tanner, you had some great comments tonight. The great comments that were all over the screen. And for Adam Dunn and the production and the work that you and Adam do, Randy, behind the scenes. The fans don't see this until 7 o'clock comes and the lights go up. But I know the work you put into it, and I know the work that Adam puts into it. And to allow me to be with Coach and to be with Pat and yourselves every week is a true honor and a great honor. And I love you guys. And as long as the good Lord will give me breath and the opportunity to do so, I want to be here. I do want to add one little thing. On the 19th, I'm having eye surgery. Unfortunately, my sister and I, 7 years apart, born on the same day, have a lot of the same ailments. And she had her eyes corrected a couple of years ago. I now have a problem in one eye, and we're going to get that taken care of on the 19th. And then on October 7th, would have been my dad's birthday, but they're going to do the other eye. So I'll be able to see what you guys really look like. And I'm really excited and looking forward to seeing that as well. But again, Randy, Coach, Pat, Adam, God bless you. And to all the folks, thank y'all so much.
All right. As a wrestling promoter, there's no better way for me to end this show than end the show with a plug. And we'll go back to the graphics and we'll tell you about the event we're all talking about, the event we're all excited about, the event that somebody might even go from all the way in Thailand to Jackson, Tennessee to be a part of it. Hashtag get PJ ass here and get her to the United States of America. It is a night to remember, celebrating classic Memphis wrestling, Saturday, September the 21st in Jackson, Tennessee. Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame award ceremony hosted by the son of Lance Russell, Shane Russell, and Brandon Baxter at the Picture Perfect Event Center at 2310 North Highland, 2310, easy for me to say, North Highland in Jackson, Tennessee. By gosh, we'll be there. A tribute to Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee. Rivalry through the ages. Excited about that. Fired up about that. Can't wait to that. The Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame members will be Handsome Jimmy Valiant, Sir Mo, Bobby Horn, PG-13, The Spellbinder, that I am honored to induct, The Rock and Roll Express, The Dirty White Boy, Michael St. John. We will remember Jerry Jarrett and Eddie Marlin. Hopefully, Dutch Mantel will be in the house. Jeff Jarrett will be, hopefully, a video acceptance speech. Also, Terry Gordon, Terry Golden, my friend. Couldn't do this show without him. Of course, two great trainers, Tommy Rich, Danny Davis. You'll see Coco Beware, Tommy Rich, Doug Gilbert, Downtown Bruno, Carl Fergie, Reggie B. Fine, Tony Falk. You'll see Jerry Calhoun. You will see in the meet and greet all the Hall of Fame honorees. You will see Pat Rose, the national anthem by Camden Smith. You will see that. Of course, you'll see Shane Russell and Brandon Baxter, the entire KEAW roster, the Power Pro crew, so much more. Tickets will be on sale during the Power Hour next Monday night. The Spellbinder will join us next Monday night, or next Tuesday night. Monday is the Power Pro. The tickets will be on sale. You will, there you go with all, I'm so excited I can't hardly talk. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, we're all over the place. Man, it's almost my bedtime. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, but I am fired up. I'm motivated. I'm ready to grab my stapler like I did yesterday, but I don't see it because it always makes me feel good. It makes me feel like the wrestling business. I don't need notes. I need a weapon. I need to knock myself in the head. I need to knock myself in the head again. I need to knock myself on the other side of the head. We have a lot of exciting things coming September 21st, but Monday, the advance tickets for Not to Remember will be on live, on sale. We'll do that next Monday night. Until next Tuesday, Spellbinder will be with us. Michael, Chris, Pat, Adam, everybody will be here. All the great fans of Power Pro Wrestling. And with that, I am blowed up like hell. So I will say, for my guys, good night from Power Pro Wrestling. We're rounding third. We're headed home.
Talking Memphis Wrestling with Randy Hill and special guest.